Governor Malloy wants lawmakers to support his plan to renovate and expand the Yukon Health Center, a move that he says will create thousands of jobs and make Yukon a leader in bioscience. The $864 million plan includes the construction of a new patient tower and ambulatory care center. It also expands bioscience research and adds more students to the medical and dental schools. But some have concerns about how its progress might affect other area hospitals and their fragile finances. Senator John Fonfara shares some of those concerns, but says he now supports the plan. Here's why. Here with Senator John Fonfara to talk about the Yukon Health Expansion Project. It's a huge, massive project, $864 million. Talk about why people should support it. I know that you had expressed some concerns, which is appropriate, certainly when you're talking about a project of this scale.
Well, I voted for it yesterday, and I did so after a lot of thought. I expressed a lot of concerns over the past couple of weeks from when the governor first announced it, representing Hartford as I do, where we have three major hospitals, the Hartford Hospital, St. Francis, and the Children's Medical Center, and the concern about the substantial investment in Farmington that has the potential, we hope it won't be, the potential to draw doctors and patients out of Hartford, New Britain, Bristol, Waterbury, where there's a very delicate patient balance right now, to Farmington, and destabilizing hospitals that are major employers in our inner cities, that have a major impact on neighborhoods. They invest a lot in those communities. They have to, but they are probably one of the biggest stabilizers in the neighborhoods in which they are located.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very valid concern. So how were your concerns alleviated?
Well, as I spoke on the floor of the Senate yesterday, in the end, I made the decision to support Governor Malloy. He has a track record, a new governor, but has a long track record as the mayor of Stamford of revitalizing that city and bringing industry, commercial business into that city, and investing in early childhood education and a lot of other things to make Stamford a very, very attractive city. And I believe that his vision, his energy that he's brought to the job after the last 6 years of less than enthusiastic effort coming out of the governor's office, at least from my perspective as a legislator, it's refreshing, and I embrace it. And I've decided to invest in him. Maybe I wouldn't have written the project exactly the way it is, but I'm hopeful that he's going to make sure that we don't see the possible disadvantages that might come from it, and see the opportunities not only in this project that can also bring in Hartford Hospital and St. Francis and the Yukon Medical Center, but also federally qualified health centers as an example that can make sure that everyone is benefiting from a better health care quality in our state.
Some people say, though, that the governor's enthusiasm, the pace is a bit rushed. I mean, would you agree with that he seems eager, certainly, to get legislation passed, to get projects going and get things done? But here in the Capitol, where sometimes the wheels turn slowly, it's a bit aggressive.
It certainly is different. Connecticut has this moniker of this land of steady habits. I don't always find it to be a positive description about our state. And I think the aggressiveness of the governor is based on his desire to, where he ran for governor 4 years ago, probably has a lot more ideas than we've seen already, and is eager to go to work on those. And I met with him privately before I voted on the bill, and he said, look, I'm a doer, and I'm working here late into the night. I think that's a breath of fresh air for us, but it takes some getting used to as well. And, I trust that even though the bill was before us quickly and acted upon quickly here in the Senate, and now will be in the House probably today, that there are a lot of quality people who are ensuring that the implementation of the proposal will be done right.
Let's talk about the dollars of the proposal, because it is a lot of money, and especially after he just came through, 17 town hall meetings asking people for shared sacrifice, asking them certainly to pay more taxes, and then investing a substantial amount of money and asking to borrow money. Can it be summed up as simply as sometimes you need to spend money to make money?
I think so, but if you look at the area that he's investing in, that we're investing in bioscience, this is an area where Connecticut should be a leader already. We have a very smart, educated population. In engineering and sciences, is a strength for our state and our population. But we haven't had the ability to put that together in an organized fashion and really take advantage of the resources that we can and the people we have in this state. I think that it's a very wise investment. I said from day one, I don't have any problem with the amount of money that the governor's proposing. My issues were, and as I stated, the configuration of it. But in the end, I've come down on believing in the governor, even if the exact the way it's been designed, I might have done a little differently.
And do you think, though, that the benefits will outweigh perhaps any, pulling any patients or business from other hospitals? She's talking about 16,000 jobs by 2037. How many of your constituents in Hartford do you think will be affected by that?
Well, that is a fear. But in talking with the governor, talking with his chief of staff, we're not, the hope here is that there's going to be collaboration with the hospitals in Hartford going forward, that we'll find ways to invest in those hospitals so that there's growth in Hartford as well, that it isn't a zero-sum game that you're taking from one and just expanding in another. God knows that Farmington, Connecticut does fine all on its own. But our cities need a lot more help. And this governor, as he said, he's an urbanist. He has a track record. For the first time, I get to serve after 25 years of being here with a governor who understands urban problems. And in the end, I'm putting my money on him.
Thanks very much for taking time with us, Senator Fonfara.
Nice to meet you.
Don't forget, if you missed something here on The Real Story, you can now watch it online by going to ctnow.com. You can also catch us on YouTube. Our thanks to all of the state lawmakers for taking time out of their busy session to speak with us. They have a few more days left, and we will be there right with them. Thanks so much for watching this edition of The Real Story. We'll see you here again next week.